Hi, I'm Becca, and I work at the Bethany branch of the Cedar Mill and Bethany Community Libraries, and this is Three on a Theme. This week's theme is Family Sagas. Family sagas tell the story of one, sometimes two families over the course of several decades and sometimes even centuries. They tend to focus on the actions of the first generation and how those actions echo through time and affect the later generations in the family. They're pretty fun, especially if you like gossip and family secrets and scandal and all that good stuff. I personally love family sagas. I'm a total sucker for them. The first book is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, which was published in 2017. It's the story of Sunja, a young Korean woman in the 1930s who runs a boarding house with her mother. She is seduced by a rich merchant and then becomes pregnant. But after that, she finds out that he's already married and only wants her for his mistress. So, in order to avoid the scandal of being an unwed mother, she marries a minister that's been living in the boarding house with her and her mother. After that, the two of them move to Japan to live with his brother and sister-in-law. And then the rest of the book is about Sunja and her two sons and how her affair with the rich merchant plays out over the next several decades. The themes in this book are sexism, racism, abuse of power, and the game Pachinko itself has a pretty big role to play. So the characters are richly developed. The book is wonderfully written. The historical piece of it is absolutely fascinating. It is 500 pages long, but if you commit to that, it is absolutely worth it. The second book is Homegoing by Gyasi, which tells the story of two sisters, Effia and Essie, who they're half-sisters, and they are completely unaware of each other's existence. So it starts in Ghana in the 1700s, and Effia has been married to a rich white soldier, and she moves with him to live in a fort. But Essie, on the other hand, has been taken captive and to be a slave. And when the book starts out, she lives in the dungeons of the fort where Effia lives. And she is later taken to America and sold off to be a slave. The rest of the book tells the story of the next 8 generations of each of their lines of the family, and each chapter of the book focuses on a different family member. It has a lot to do with, of course, slavery in America and Africa's role in the slave trade, which is pretty interesting. And the characters, again, are pretty richly developed, even though each one only gets about 20 pages. I feel like you really get to know them anyway. It takes place all the way up through the 20th century. So again, how their lives play out over the next 300 years. The word homegoing actually refers to it's an old slave word, and it's the idea and belief that a slave's soul returns to Africa after they die. I highly recommend this book. And the last book, it's a little bit different. It's The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin, and it was published in 2018. So this is the story about the 4 gold children, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. In the summer of 1969, they hear about a woman who can supposedly tell you the day that you are going to die. So they go and each one individually talks to her, and they each supposedly find out their death date. So the reason why this one's a little different is it has nothing to do with future generations, but it is each of the 4 siblings and how they live the next 50 years with the knowledge of when they are going to die. So it answers that question of, if you knew when you were going to die, how would you live your life? So it has a lot to do with mortality, fate versus free will, the choices you would make with that certain knowledge. And it's pretty interesting. Again, wonderful characters. I think it's a question we all ask ourselves anyway. And so it's a pretty fun read. So each of these 3 books is available as ebook and e-audiobook on Overdrive and Libby, and they're available to borrow or place on hold right now. And we will also have on our main website, wccls.bibliocommons.com, a much longer list, and it's going to be under Bethany_library. And the list is, I think, about 20 books long, and it includes a bunch of other family sagas, some that are classics, some that are newer. And each of those books is also available as an ebook or e-audiobook to borrow or place on hold. See you next week. Bye.